So June is Black Music Month, and naturally I'm going to find anything that is creepy, witchy, whatever it is in relation to music. So now I have a story for you that is actually out of Charleston, South Carolina. Again, another story from John Bennett's book, Doctor of the Dead, and this is about Louis Alexander. In the old days, when the devil taught fiddlers, we had much better music. Now, Jack Calhoun was a fine fiddler, but Louis Alexander was the finest of them all. Some say he was taught by Dickie Bucks, the great conjurer of Dorchester Road. Others say the devil himself taught him. But if you ask old Caesar can confirm he was indeed taught by the devil and not Dickie Bucks. Because no man like Louis Alexander could fiddle as fine as he could unless he was taught by the devil himself. Now, Louis was a Charleston man, short, heavy, and dark. He was a pleasant fellow, friendly to all, and a love joke, and he could play the fiddle as if he was born with it in his hand. He could equally play the banjo, guitar, and the bull fiddle. But Lord, let me tell you, he could play a lead horn that was fit to make a grown man cry. But it was with his fiddle that he could almost conjure your heart out. When white folks heard him, they would always say, the devil's in that man. They called him the Black Pickaninny. Now, one who wants to learn from the devil needs to take a yellow yam, hen egg, and the black fowl to the crossroads on the dark moon. Stake the fowl, break the egg, lay the yam down in the egg and call the devil 7 times, and he'll come on the 7th time. So Louis did all these things and he called the devil. When the devil showed up, he said, "What do you want?" And Louis simply said, "To play the fiddle better than any man, dead or alive. I will pay you whatever you ask." So the devil replied, "That's a fair bargain," and taught Louis how to play the fiddle better than any man, dead or alive. "Thank you," replied Louis. "Just keep your thanks," said the devil. "I'll take my own pay." After that, no man could outfiddle him. He could play a whole tune on one note or a whole song on one string. And when he played for dancing, everyone that heard his fiddle had a sudden urge to dance. They could not keep their feet still if they tried. Every night, the party would get louder and louder. And when Louis played, you know the devil was in it. Buckets of white mule and bottles of beer were flowing. The girls pulled off their clothes and everything was just delightful. And no one who came into the hall ever left it from candle lighting on Saturday evening until Sunday morning. It's like they forgot how to use the front door. Louis gave a hot supper every Saturday night, and every Sunday morning someone was usually carried out dead. And they knew when he laid down his fiddle, that meant the party was over. After a while, he went down to Beaufort and got himself a fine string orchestra. The people of Beaufort and Port Royal were more than happy to provide him a space to host his dinners. Song of the bell, Louis would lay down his fiddle, and at that moment, the crowd knew the party was over. They would all go home, and they forgot where they'd been or what they'd done, or how they even behaved. All they knew is that they were entirely too tired to go to work or function the next day. So they just go home and sleep all day. It was said they legitimately did not give a damn. The devil was definitely in Louis Alexander's music, but if you said that to him, he would just laugh. Now, after a while, he went down to Beaufort and created his own string orchestra. The people of Beaufort and Port Royal were more than happy to welcome such a famous fiddler and were happy to host his dances and dinners. And like in Charleston, the people of Beaufort and Port Royal began to hail him as one of the finest fiddlers around. But a gift from the devil is a debt indeed. Now, Louis lived for many years in Beaufort. Now, his house was on the point behind Beaufort, kind of a solitary place. One day, the apothecary owner noticed that he hadn't come in. So he asked around and no one knew. So they went to the house where Louis lived, and when they opened the door, there he was, unalive. Louis laid there stiff, eyes wide open, mouth twisted. Gray as an alley cat with white froth coming out of his mouth. Joe Blythewood said that there had been a light on in Louis's home all night, but the oil lamp was burned out. Some say he died of poison, but the law could never prove it. No one believed that story. The devil who taught him the fiddle simply came to collect his pay. Willy-nilly, ready or not, Louis had to pay up. He took Louis' soul and went on home. On the table by the bedside was a pen, some ink, and contract paper. And on the back, a big handprint with 3 words: paid in full. And nobody but the devil could have written that. This is a story from John Bennett's Doctor of the Dead and is from an informant named Walter Mayrant.